Oh, hi, writers. 1 second. Welcome to another writing workshop with me, Mr. James. How are you doing out there? I hope you're keeping well, keeping healthy, keeping active during this distance learning period. All right, writing workshop. So where do we start? Usually with some shout outs. This time I'd like to give a big shout out to Miss Jenny, Miss Kendra, and Miss Rohanna, your grade 2 teachers. We're doing a lot of work during this distance learning period. Okay, next, joke of the day. Hold on to your ribs. All right, what did the tie say to the hat? You go on ahead and I'll hang around. Yes? No? Suit yourself. Okay, so your stories. We're almost at the end, almost finished your piece of narrative fiction writing with your characters. Okay, so we are around here, the kind of fourth part of the story, falling action and resolution. So simply that is what happens after the climax. Okay, so how is the problem solved in your story? Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the resolution. So in this lesson, we'll find out that good writers keep their readers interested by using powerful verbs and adverbs and creating mental images. All right, so let's have a look. My images from my story. How do I create, what kind of verbs, adverbs would I use in this scene, for example? Okay, so here we have the scene where Parker comes to tell Pablo P.I. that Piper has been taken. And the words I've used are, he waved his arms furiously. Okay, so waved is the verb, all right? And furiously describes the verb. It's kind of added on to the verb. It's an adverb. That's how I remember it, okay? He waved his arms furiously. Waved is the action, and then furiously describes that action, okay? Another couple of examples here. Pablo P.I. swam urgently to the volcano. Now, can you find the verb and adverb in this sentence? All right, I'm sure many of you got it. Swam is the verb, and of course, the word that describes the verb, the adverb, is urgently. All right, so the adverb describes the verb. Pablo P.I. swam urgently to the volcano. And the last one, evil Lord Blubber. This is the sentence. Lord Blubber stood up fiercely. So which is the verb, which is the adverb? I'm sure many of you have got it by now. Stood is the verb, the action, and fiercely is the adverb, the word that describes the action. Okay? Adverb describes the verb. All right. So I'm going to go over to Screencast now and talk you through how I'm going to expand the resolution of my story using these things here. Okay? Okay then, writers. Resolution. So it's the fourth part of our story. So here I've written, under cover of night, he unlocks the rooms of all the penguins for them to escape. He puts dynamite at the base of the volcano, which explodes, causing the volcano to erupt. The penguins swim to safety, but Lord Blubber's lair is destroyed. Okay. So I have that here in Seesaw, and I'm just over the last few days. I've been working on that part of the story and expanding it. And again, I've written a bit more than I'm expecting you guys to write. But obviously, you can write as much as you want if you're really into your story. Okay, so here it is, my resolution, and I'll just read it through for you and point out a few things. Okay, so we're looking at verbs, adverbs, and creating images to make our story more powerful. All right, Pablo P.I. You pesky penguin! I thought I'd seen the last of you. Pablo ran forward, grabbed the back of Lord Blubber's chair, and used all his strength to tip Lord Blubber over the balcony. Okay, so that is an example of creating an image. Pablo running forward, grabbing the back of Lord Blubber's chair, and slowly tipping Lord Blubber over the balcony. Ah! Thwack! Went the sound of Lord Blubber as he landed heavily. Again, landed heavily is an example of a verb and an adverb. Landed heavily onto a conveyor belt below and was knocked out cold. The penguins in the cave all cheered. Piper ran over to her uncle and gave him a great big hug. Again, that's another way to convey an image in your mind of Uncle Pablo giving Piper a big hug. I knew he'd come for me, she said. Pablo gave her a smile and then shouted to the rest of the penguins. Quick, out through the tunnel entrance. Parker will lead you out of this trap. A sea of black and white penguins raced through the tunnel to the sea as fast as their flippers could carry them, with Piper and Parker leading them. Again, that's another image that I worked on, the sea of black and white penguins racing through the tunnel. Pablo P.I., however, turned back. There's just one more thing I have to do, thought Pablo. He reached into his backpack and took out 10 sticks of dynamite and a box of matches. Piper, Parker, and the rest of the penguins reached the sea and started swimming furiously. Okay, so there's another verb, an adverb. When Piper and Parker finally came up to the surface of the ocean and looked back at the volcano, it was exploding, sending smoke and globs of hot lava shooting high into the sky. So I spent a bit of time describing the volcano, what it looked like after it had exploded, sending smoke and globs of lava shooting high into the sky. Oh, Uncle Pablo, why didn't you just get out while you could? Cried Piper, looking at Parker. Both of them were distraught with the thought of losing their uncle. Just then, the head of a penguin slowly rose from the ocean 2 meters in front of them. It was Pablo. Uncle Pablo, you're alive! Screamed Piper. But how did you manage to swim from the volcano so quickly? Well, I'm a penguin. That's what I do, stated Pablo calmly. And with that, the three of them swam together back to the colony. All right, so there you have the resolution. The part of the story that happens immediately after the climax. And next time we're going to go over the ending, how to write a good ending for your story. So, writers, get going. I look forward to reading your stuff on Seesaw. That's all from me for the moment. Bye-bye.